Hi, in this blog we're going to be talking about playing some blues licks. And these are very fun to throw in your solo. You can also, if you're a teacher, you can put them in while your students are playing the chords, while they're strumming the blues progression or while they're playing power chords. You can play a little bit of a solo and add some licks into your solo playing. Now, a lick is a grouping of notes that sound kind of catchy. They're interesting sounding. They're very common. They can be repeated over and over. And very often they were played by some guitar player early on, and other guitar players heard them play it and thought, man, this would be a great little section of notes to add to my solo. It has a catchy little sound. So these are some licks that work for the key of E and for the key of A. Lick number 1 works over an E7 chord. Now I should explain that what you want to do is you want to insert these licks in your solo. So you might be playing a solo that's like an E minor pentatonic solo for a blues in the key of E, and you just insert this lick anywhere really in the solo. But it works particularly well in the blues progression in the key of E when the E7 chord is being played. Then you can insert this lick. So an example of lick number 1, it has a slide. You start with your second finger and slide from the 2nd fret up to the 4th fret, up to the B. So it's rest. Real common little blues lick for the key of E. Lick number 2, you slide up to an E note on the 2nd string, probably with your 3rd finger. And then after you play the 2nd string, then you play the 1st string E right after it. So that's lick number 2. Lick number 3 works for an A7 chord. Now this A7 chord could be in a blues in A, or it could also be the A7 chord if you're playing a blues in E when the A7 chord happens. Now what you want to do here is you want to bend the 3rd string D note. Now that D note is on the 3rd string 7th fret, and it says full there. You want to bend it up to be a full step. Now on steel string, if you're playing heavy gauge strings, that might be pretty hard to bend that up a full step, but get the bend in there and then play the E and the A. That's 1st string 5th and 2nd string 5th. Play those notes together. So you end up with this. If you're swinging it. Now lick number 4 works for an E7 chord. You have a very fast pull off there from a G to an E. So that's the lick. Now lick number 5 also works for an E7 chord. You rest on the 1st beat, then slide up to an E, probably using your 3rd finger again. And you notice there's a quick little pull off there, followed by picking the E note. So in slow motion it would be this. Rest. A little bit faster, you'd have rest. Now, lick number 6 also works for an E7 chord. It has some triplets in there. It's got a hammer on it the first, B to D. Then you play an E note. So once again, 3, 4. Lick number 7 involves a whole bunch of hammer-ons and pull-offs. This is a trill from an open B to a D. And you just keep repeating that over and over and over. And you kind of have to angle your finger a little bit so you can hear when you pull it off. Shouldn't have to pick it at all. But when somebody's playing the E7 chord or the power chord E, and that's what that lick would sound like with that little trill or that hammer on and pull off there. Now I'm going to play a 12-bar blues for you in the key of E, and I'm going to be playing a pentatonic solo. The solo will be mostly E pentatonic, but every once in a while I'll insert a lick, and I'll try to tell you the lick number when I insert it. 2, 3, 4. There was lick number 1, lick number 2, lick number 3, 4. So there you can see a solo in the key of E that uses the E minor pentatonic scale, and I threw some licks in there in the solo as well.